Hi, everybody, and welcome to CAD 2131. This is lab number 6. Okay, so we're cooking right along. And just as a recap, so last week we kind of finalized our parts. We brought in a box and we started to make some rough drawings. And this thing was starting to come together. It was really starting to meld. So this week, basically, I'm again looking for a CAD format, AutoCAD. Right, we're looking for the backplane assembly completed. So you would have gotten some feedback from me. Um, Make sure that you're going to really take my criticism and apply it. We're going to make sure that the box assembly is completed and that we have detailed drawings for everything that we've made thus far. Note that when it comes to your dimensioning, I don't need you to try to create threaded holes in anything, just the drill size, and you can put in a label, for example, 832 UNC, and off you go. Okay. Okay, so what does this start to look like? So here's my drawing. This is a nice rendered image that I made. That you can kind of strive for something that should look like this. It doesn't have to be. Again, this is your design. If you wanted the whole thing inverted, sideways, inside out, backwards, it's completely up to you. Okay. When I took a look at your previous assignment, I would have given you some feedback, maybe put a little bit more space here, a little bit more space there, something like that. And again, like I said a couple weeks ago, I think I have enough room for an auxiliary contact in here, but maybe you wanted some more room for your heater provision. Again, completely up to you. All right. So let's take a look at my AutoCAD here. Uh, so my we saw this last week. So here's my panel kind of finished. My box, not the door. My box assembly is finished. All right, so here's my box, and you can see that I have basically dropped everything in here. And one of the great things about working with layers is if I do want to work in here and say the box is kind of in the way, I can simply just turn that layer off. Okay. Um, makes it quite nice. So one of the things you might notice with my drawings here is how much blacker the black is and how much more vibrant some of the colors are. And if you have a reasonable computer, you can actually enable a couple things here with your rendering. And what I've done is here under the render, this little pull down here, you can open up the render environment and exposure. And basically, if I can pull you over, there we go. You can turn this on and off. And for me, I find it really kind of pops, and definitely for the videos makes it look a lot better. But don't worry about it if you can't. Later, I may show you a little bit about this visualize and how you can create some really fantastic looking graphics using this free CAD that we've been able to download. All right. And so this week's assembly, yeah, we've got 2 weeks to work on it. We're starting to look for perfection, but not necessarily in the placement. I don't want you to be obsessing over positioning of components on your DIN rail. Okay, it really doesn't matter. It's close as in this case. Okay, what I'm looking for is, are the parts parallel? Are the parts flat to the, they're not sticking way up out of the way? And you should be familiar with using the align function, or at least the move function to bring things in. And as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, starting to create blocks. Okay, so in this case, I've created a group. Sorry, not a block. So this is all one group. And you'll notice that it's all the stuff that sits on this DIN rail. And the reason I did that was if I want to move that entire DIN rail, let's say some distance, move it at at will and move all the components together. So the purple blocks here, I made them a group because I'm never going to move the contactor without the thermal overload. And the idea is that once I've assembled the parts on a DIN rail, I'll never move them apart. So that pretty much sums it up. Not a lot of content as far as the lecture, but it will take you some time. Okay, so definitely think about how you're going to place those holes in your DIN rail, okay, and in your cable trough, so that it actually makes sense to you. Uh, Obviously, you don't want to put holes that aren't going to line up with the slots. Okay, so a little bit of thought there, and you don't need to put a hole in every slot. Typically, one on each end on something that's relatively small is fine. But as obviously there's more weight hanging off of it, you would want more and more uh, fasteners to hold it in place. So a little bit of logic there. One is never a good idea. A million's never a good idea. Something in between. All right. As always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, email me. I'm very receptive to constructive criticism, and as always, if there's a question that warrants a follow up video, I'm here and I can quickly produce those, as you saw last semester and probably this semester as well. Hopefully, you're having a little bit of fun with this course this semester, and that you're able to see that we're able to pull in the CAD files and virtually create a project from the ground up without having to spend a cent, and the advantages that that really gives us. All right. As always, have fun. If you have problems, let me know, and enjoy your week. All right. Bye now.